one of the things I've noticed over the years is how humans have this reductionist mentality of reducing things to the simplest common denominator. And by doing that, excluding all of those other things that were properties of that particular thing. I'm going to give you some examples. In food, there's a book called Salt, Sugar, Fat, and it's how the food industry has realized that the taste buds really crave these things, salt, sugar, and fat, and how snacks are made to accentuate those things without all the other flavors. So when you bite into a chip or a Dorito or something like that, you get a burst of flavor. That basis is also a strong part of fast food. So that fast food has this initial flavor burst because they accentuate salt, sugar, and fat. And there are some places or some institutions that call that food porn. It's reducing it to the most simplest aspect of it without all the other aspects of it. So we do that with our food. When you do that with something like alcohol, you could make wine and then have all those properties of the soil and the grapes and the varieties and the weather and all that stuff. You could do the same with beer, with hops and different mixtures, and I assume with whiskey. I don't drink it, so I don't know. Or you can just remove all of those things around it and make grain alcohol, and just, in a sense, get to the point of getting a buzz on. So it in a sense, it removes all the character from it. And we do that with sexuality. And so the female form is reduced to just the body shape, accentuated breasts, accentuated tiny waist, accentuated butt, and it's known as DNA, right? Or it should be B&B, which would be breast and butt. It has nothing to do with being a woman. It's just this reduced sexuality. And if you watch something, particularly entertainment, particularly a lot of things in music, it's these women that are very much exaggerated features, kind of like the fertility goddesses that you see in the very old stone figures. That's a hard thing to live up to, and to try to have a relationship with. Either way, either you view yourself that way, or you view other that way. So it becomes an extreme of objectifying what a woman is. When I was younger, you'd see a woman that you thought was attractive, and you'd say, look at her, and isn't she sweet and nice, intelligent, kind, friendly, whatever. And now, when I'm around guys and a woman comes by, particularly if she's provocatively dressed, it's look at that. It's not her, she's not a subject, it's a that. And I find that to be very troubling with what's happening in the world. So, when we do these things, we miss out on the overall essence, the overall beauty. There's a really good video, and I'm going to try to put a hyperlink in. A woman by the name of Dr. Terry Wahls, W-A-H-L, and it's called Mind Your Mitochondria. And it was how she dealt with having, I believe, MS. It's a TED Talk. I will hopefully put it in a link here if I can figure out how to do that. But what the video comes down to is she was searching for those things that help her condition, and then realized that taking those enzymes or whatever they were, I forget, away from their natural environment, away from the foods they occur in, the plants they occur in, was actually not helping. But when she used those things in their original form with their relationship with all the other molecules in the plants, she had tremendously good success. So think about how things get distilled in our life, in our food. The food's not good when it's reduced to that. Obviously, us viewing each other, whether it's a woman looking at a man as being an icon, as in your computer, it's just the simplest thing, right? sports figures just being models that who can play sports. I'm oversimplifying it, but I think you can understand what I'm talking about. So we move further away from our natural being, our natural environment by doing these things. And it's worth investigating in your own mind.